Bored of buying the same groceries every week? I got you. But today I'm letting a food scientist take over my cart and I'm not giving up to my guilty pleasures. So let's see if science can beat my cravings. You ready, Dom?
Let's go. Let's get some color in this card. Go over to the berries first. I'm a big fan of berries. I have them almost every day for breakfast. Take your pick. They're all fine. I always like to have some raspberries and blackberries. And we'll find the blueberries later. The only decision you may want to make here is whether or not you want to go for organic or non-organic. In places like America and Australia, where I'm from, there are already standards in place that make regular conventional foods extremely safe as well. And while there can be some additional residues on some non-organic products, the amounts are so small, they're really insignificant to your diet. So it's not something you should be worried about, and you can pretty much pick anything you want. If you're picking fresh fruit and vegetables, you've already made the right decision.
So it makes the difference buying organic or not organic?
It's not going to change your health in a significant way, no. Okay, so now we're over in the vegetable aisle. It's not as pretty and colourful sometimes as the fruit, but there's still a lot of great stuff in here.
Question.
Yes.
Potatoes, bad carbs, good carbs.
So it's a great question because I think everyone gets confused. Again, they're good carbs, but all carbs in moderation, right? So you want to take the potato in its full form, in its most complete form. You don't want it refined and heavily changed and stuff like that, because you are getting other things besides the carbs in it. But potato is a very starchy, very heavy carb type of vegetable, and so you want to limit that in your overall meal plan. So I wouldn't avoid it as a food at all. Don't get me wrong. But in your plan, you don't want to have a meal that's entirely potatoes. You need to mix it up with some other things as well.
You know, a lot of people say that sweet potatoes are better than yellow potatoes. What do you think about it?
So one of the main things with sweet potatoes is that they have beta-carotene, which is a precursor for vitamin A. So essentially, it's a vitamin, right? And so you're getting a slightly different vitamin blend in a sweet potato that you would be in a regular potato. But from a carbohydrate point of view and overall nutrition point of view, not a huge amount of difference.
So we're buying sweet potatoes?
Chuck them in there, why not? So now we're in the greens aisle. I think one of the good things about greens is you can add a lot of volume to your meal without adding a lot of calories, right? And so there's a whole bunch of other micronutrients, minerals and vitamins that you can get from a range of greens in the diet. But they can also provide that texture and that sort of stuff that makes food more enjoyable as well. This is where you want to be. This is where you want to spend your time. So we'll get some broccoli. We'll get a bag of carrots too, because why not? Everyone likes carrots.
What about carrots have too many sugars?
No, don't worry about that. Sure. Yeah, let's throw it in there. I'm not a massive fan of cabbage just because of the taste. But
okay.
Yeah, if you like it, by all means. Okay, well, now we're in the meat section. Now look, I'm putting aside all dietary choices, vegetarian, veganism. I'm just going to talk about it as a food. So what do you look at here? What looks good?
I kind of like sausages.
Yeah, sausage. I like sausages too, don't get me wrong. If you're looking at, I think, trying to make healthier choices or trying to understand a bit more about your diet, at the same time, there is more stuff that just goes in there, right? With steak, what I'm looking for, love a good steak.
When you decide to buy a steak or meat in general, what do you look for in the label to understand if that's a good product?
I want to see a steak doesn't have anything except steak on it. It's telling me that it's 100% grass-fed. That's great, right? I'm looking for cows that have lived in a field that have eaten grass, and that's can be a personal ethical preference, but it's also, I think, better for the nutrition of the cow than being stuck in a barn eating grain, right? This one here, I can see that it's raised and harvested in New Zealand, but looks good. Just double check the expiry date. Okay, it has a sell-by date there.
So let's go with some meat.
Now we're in the fish aisle. Just to touch on this quickly, fish is fantastic. If you look at the top 10 most nutritious foods, I think 8 of them are fish. Yes.
What about salmon?
Salmon. In recent years, salmon's got a lot more controversy because of the way it's farmed and raised, right? And it is hard to know exactly what has happened to this fish. So I mean, I would say if you're not sure, if you're concerned, maybe just limit it in your diet.
So if I want to buy fish, what would you choose? White fish or salmon?
I think between these two, I'd go for the white fish. This one in particular is a halibut. It's a great fish, nutritionally speaking.
What about cheese, Dom? Like, I mean, I love cheese.
Cheese has a lot of great things in it. I think we think of it as a guilty pleasure. These types of cheeses, we're talking like, made around the world, various different, small farms, small cheeseries. I mean, they're just great products in general, right? But they're containing a lot of fat that I think people get nervous about. People get nervous about dairy fats in general. But again, like if you're taking in a bit of cheese and a bit of milk and you're mixing it in a balanced diet, it's really nothing to worry about. You're also getting protein in here. The things to really take care of with cheese is it often comes with a lot of salt, particularly like the more processed cheeses that we're used to eating, hamburgers and things like that. I would say opt for these types of cheeses over your general kind of American style cheeses wherever you can, and then you should be just fine. Okay, let's hang on a second. You might have noticed that on the market today there's a lot of these sodas that talk about prebiotics, probiotics. And prebiotics is essentially the food for your bacteria, the digestive tract. And probiotics are the bacteria themselves. But our digestion is very complicated and there's a lot of different types of bacteria in there. So drinking probiotic soda is probably not going to add much value to your digestive flora, your bacteria in your guts, right? We just picked out a whole bunch of vegetables. That's where our prebiotics are going to come from in this meal. So as part of a balanced diet, I don't really think we need any soda at all.
Okay, Dom, can we stop at the milk? Because I love milk, but I never buy it because I always think it's bad for me.
Yeah, milk is a bit confusing. If you just look at the aisle here, we have dozens of different types. So whole milk is as close to the original product as you can get, right? There's a few different ways that we can adjust milk to either change the fat content or change the lactose content. So why would we want to do that? So the reason that a lot of people started going for lower fat milk was to reduce calorie intake. But with more recent science and more recent understanding of dietary problems, we've tended to focus more on added sugars, right? So the concerns with fat from a calorific intake point of view sort of just fizzled out. And so what we're seeing now is people are going back to whole milk. It tastes better, it has a better mouthfeel, and they're tending to avoid the fat-free milks unless they have a taste preference for it. Then you've got the lactose-free. So some people have trouble digesting lactose. They lack an enzyme that their body produces that allows them to break it down. So we can, in milk processing, we can basically use that same enzyme, but we can use it in the milk before it's packed in order to break down the lactose. Which will then give you a lactose-free milk. It just pulls it apart, and the lactose becomes glucose and galactose, which are two other sugars. But it's the same amount of sugar, just in two different forms. So you actually end up with a slightly sweeter milk product when you break down lactose. If you prefer the taste of lactose-free, then go for it. Or if you know that someone in your family or you have a lactose intolerance problem, then you would opt for the lactose-free, but you should still be able to enjoy the benefits of whole milk because there's lots of great stuff in it.
We can go ahead with the milk.
I would go nuts. It is also one thing where I try to buy organic wherever I can.
Whole milk?
Whole milk it is.
Whole milk. Dom, I never know what to eat for breakfast. What do you suggest?
None of this.
Okay, let's go. So if it's not cereal, what do you eat for breakfast?
Very simple. I'll just grab some whole grain oats. I'll mix in there some almonds, pecans, walnuts, sunflower seeds, some psyllium fiber if you can find it, and then sprinkle it on top. A bit of milk, some berries, and yogurt if you've got it.
So we're going with this.
Chuck it in there.
Dom, I'm really craving some snacks. Can I take this?
This one here is jam-packed with sugar and salt and oil and fat. We're just going to put this one back and we're going to grab a plain popcorn, okay?
Okay, plain popcorn it is. I mean, I like them. I like plain popcorn. Okay, Dom, so one thing I cannot exclude from my diet is ice cream. So which one is the most nutritious one?
I can't believe you're asking me this. Uh, Look, I mean, if you're going to have a cheat day, it might as well be ice cream. But as a food scientist, I gotta.
Okay, we are in the baked goods section, and I'm very scared of what Dom is gonna tell me because it's my favorite one.
Yeah, look, I mean, these products are delicious at the end of the day. They're hard to ignore. Look, one thing I want to point out is that when you're taking baked goods like this, cookies and cakes, you're really just getting empty calories, right? It's another one of these cheap products. So we tend to avoid it if we're really wanting to do what's right for our diet. Um, if I'm looking at bread, I love bread. I probably eat a little too much of it, if I'm being honest. But I'm always looking for something fresh, something that's made like as close as possible to when I'm going to eat it. And then I'm also looking for, whole grains, something that's just not white bleached flour, right? I'm looking for something that has as much natural grain in it as possible. Let's throw one of these in, shall we?
Now that our grocery is done, follow the next episode of Bite Size Stories because Dom is gonna talk about myth and truth behind what we eat and what we should eat. So follow the next episode of Bite Size Stories with Dom.
Bye.